So how does one survive this kind of family drama anyways? Asking for a friend, aka the people of Reddit. First story, my dad started dating a girl younger than me, so I started dating a guy older than him. Okay, all right, that's quite the revenge. My dad, 57 male, started dating Becky, 25 female, 4 months ago. For reference, I am a 26-year-old and my dad and mom, to note, my mom is 54. They divorced when I was 24, 2 years ago, and this is his first relationship, to my knowledge, since my mom and dad separated. So Becky is only 1 year younger than you. My dad has become the proverbial rich man dating young bimbo upgrade D-bag, and it's made my mom feel like yesterday's trash. Him and Becky have such an obvious transactional relationship that it's been making me question how he sees women. Like what? Was he checking out my friends growing up? Is that something I have to worry about now? F you. Oh, she's mad. I've tried expressing to him that their relationship makes me uncomfortable for every obvious reason, but he won't listen, and I'm tired of his blatant disrespect and dismissal of my feelings. So, if he sees no issue with it, then I guess neither do I. This weekend was Becky's birthday, and my dad threw a massive garden party for it with her bimbo friends, plus his friends and his business partners. All I'm sure so he could try and get his creepy buddy set up with her gold-digging friends. But you know what? Since that was the vibe, why wouldn't I join in on the fun? So what did I do? I found myself an older man and decided to bring him as my +1. How old is he? He's 62, so let's just call him Old Joe. 62 and your dad's how old? 57. Only fitting, if his girlfriend is younger than me, that my new boyfriend would be older than him. So the party starts, I'm on my best behavior with him and all his friends, acting like I support it all when I leave to get my new guy because he just arrived. It was honestly art coming back to him and all his friends sitting together at the main table. The birthday girl basically hanging all over him to introduce them all to my old ass boyfriend. I wish I took a photo of their faces. What's wrong, Dad? You don't look so good. Becky, you should get his heart medication. This party might be too taxing on him. And then I sat on Joe's lap. Now see, I don't need petty revenge that bad. I don't want to sit on a random old man's lap that bad to get revenge. You know what I mean? To go along with this whole plan for the day, I don't need the victory that bad. I made sure to be as shameless as his new girlfriend, and yes, I felt disgusting doing it, but it was effing worth it to watch my dad basically throw Becky off of him, which ruined her special day. I cannot express how satisfying it was to watch him fume from across the table, but what was he going to say? And the best part, one of his business partners knew Joe. They were actually golf buddies. And before he could say anything to me, I made my exit with Joe because he was taking me on a private boat ride and we did not want to miss our port departure. And now he's calling me nonstop and I just keep sending him to voicemail. Though I did text him about what ED medication he takes so I could recommend the brand to Ol' Joe. At this point, I don't care how this affects our relationship because I am disgusted with him and his choices. I am satisfied with the payback and I hope he likes the taste of his own medicine. Edit. To anyone asking about Joe and claiming that I screwed myself over in the process. Number 1, I never slept with him. I ditched him after we left the party. Number 2, he was in on the whole thing, but only because he thought it was kink related and that he would be getting action afterwards, which was never the case. Yes, I did things I'm not proud of. I took advantage of the guy, but he thought he was going to be taking advantage of me, thinking I was an easy target because I had daddy issues. So I don't feel bad about that for him. I only slightly feel bad for myself because I sat on his lap. Was just not going to the party an option? Number 3, I don't know why all of you are concerned over this guy. He was a creep. He willingly came to the party where he presumably knew no one there because he thought pissing my dad off was part of a kink game. He was weird, and in my opinion, I screwed over 2 gross old men that day, so I pat myself on the back. And number 4, sorry that I don't like the idea of my dad treating another human being as a sexual object and trying to throw that back in his face by making myself into that objectified person. And I have that opinion of their relationship because I am watching it unfold in real time. If you saw them together, you would understand where I'm coming from. He's handsy with her in public places and in front of me. And yes, she has a choice in this, but to play into that dynamic is also weird. And I feel bad that she's become so complacent in her own exploitation. But if he wants to be with someone younger in a transactional relationship, clearly I can't stop him. But is it really so much to ask at his grown age to have some respect for your daughter and keep that out of my face and out of my life? I don't think so, but I guess that's just me. I've never heard a story like that, to be honest, and I read a lot of stories. Let me know how you would have handled something like that and what your thoughts are on her little plan there. I've already expressed mine. I don't need it that bad. I just wouldn't go to the party. That's a win for me, just being at home and not going to the party. Next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting my brother to apologize for destroying a piece of sports memorabilia? My brother says it was just a piece of paperwork, but it belongs to my husband. Well, I mean, I don't think you should destroy anything that's not yours, no matter what it is. But, you know, we only learned that in kindergarten. Tell me if I'm being the a-hole here because I'm going out of my mind. My husband and I just bought a house and we hosted my family for Thanksgiving. For context, I'm originally from Illinois, but my husband and I live in Iowa. My family came on Wednesday and left on Friday, so no one was driving over 4 hours on Thanksgiving Day. My older brother volunteered to take them on the couch in our basement because we only have 2 guest rooms. He was the only one who was down there. No one else went in the basement. My husband is casually into sports, but he did get some sports memorabilia from his dad and his Opa. He has a certificate of ownership for an NFL team. His dad bought shares in the team, and if you do that, you get a certificate in exchange. That's really cool. Take that from someone who isn't, highly into sports. What a cool thing to have. When my husband went downstairs to put some food in the freezer on Friday night, the certificate was missing. The frame was still there, but the certificate wasn't. I asked my brother about it because he was the only one down there, but he said he didn't do anything with the certificate and that it was worthless anyways. And who put you in charge to decide what it's worth? My husband can ask the team to mail another certificate. The certificate isn't sentimental or priceless or anything like that, but it was bothering us because my brother obviously took it. No one else was in our basement except for him. I could understand why he would take it, and my husband is pissed about it. I told my brother to just send it back, and up until yesterday, he said he didn't do anything. But now he admits that he took it and he can't give it back because he destroyed it. Why?
Why would they do this?
He told me it's worthless anyways. My husband is obviously mad at my brother. I don't even watch sports, and my husband barely watches. He would never destroy something from another team, though. He doesn't even talk about football or any other sports with my family. I don't know why my brother would do that. My parents and my other brother told me to tell my husband to just let it go because the certificate can be replaced. My dad said people put too much stock in having the certificate, but that's not the point. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother that he should apologize to my husband? I couldn't believe my dad tried to act like it wasn't a big deal. I am so embarrassed. I apologized to my husband because I'm embarrassed, but he told me it's not my fault. Am I being the a-hole for being so upset with my brother about a piece of paperwork and telling him to apologize? My family says I'm making a mountain out of a molehill and I would like a gut check. This is insane that it's even in question. I don't care if I put a used tissue in a frame at my house. That does not mean that you are entitled to go into my frame, take my tissue out, and destroy it. That's crazy to me.
That's insane.
That's someone else's property, no matter what it is. I don't even know why we're talking about this. How is this a debate? Some things I want to clarify. My father-in-law got the certificate in 2022. He gave it to my husband to display in our basement after my father-in-law downsized and no longer had the room for it. It has fun value for fans of the team, but it is not worth any money. My husband said my brother would be well aware that the certificate had no resale or monetary value. So maybe he took it thinking that it would and he was going to try to sell it, which is also so crappy to do to someone. Next, my husband told me the certificate cannot be sold. It can be transferred to someone else if the person who originally bought it passes away, but you aren't allowed to sell it to someone else even if it was worth money. Next, my family is from Illinois and I was born there and grew up there. I moved to Ottawa for a job after I graduated from college. My husband's family is from Iowa. None of them have ever lived in Wisconsin. My husband's dad was able to get a replacement certificate. Apparently, there is an entire department that manages those certificates, and his dad was able to contact the team and get one no problem. I was still angry and I kept confronting my brother about what happened. I kept asking him why he would destroy something that belonged to my husband. He wouldn't say anything at first besides that it was a worthless piece of paperwork. My dad and others in my family defended my brother, saying people put too much stock in having the certificate. Thank God it's not me in this situation, y'all, let me tell you. That's not the point. It didn't belong to my brother and he was my guest. My brother finally said the certificate was stupid and he was mad at my husband for having it and he just snapped. But he wouldn't apologize or admit that he was wrong. I'm embarrassed even though my husband said it's not my fault. I don't watch football, so I don't understand why my family is acting this way. My husband only casually watches it and I can tell he is hurt and angry about what happened. I've been in pretty low contact with my family since it happened. I haven't spent any holidays with them since it happened, and on the rare times we talk, it's surface level stuff or small talk. I mean, I'd be in the same boat. I welcomed you into my home. I hosted you. You destroyed something of my husband's, and you're not even sorry for it. That's insane. Quite literally insane that you came on Reddit to ask, like, as if you needed a gut check. We're all on the same page here, right? I mean, God, I'm hoping so, SAS Squad. I hope we're all rallying together here, but hey, maybe not. I would be shocked. Next story. Am I the a-hole for firing my sister after seeing her blog? Basically what happened is I read my sister's blog. It was sent to me by a friend of mine who was asking if one of the characters was me. Spoiler alert, it was me. It was a couple years old and really popular. She doesn't use our family's real names, but they are very similar and they also use the first letter. So think real names. Katie, Julia, Marissa, and Brad, and then the fake names being Kathy, June, Marnie, and Bob. It's descriptive enough of our lives and what we do for work that my friend identified me from it. It's mostly about her and her life, but there is a lot of stuff about us. A year ago, I had an abortion. It was during the lowest point in my life so far, and only she and my husband knew about it. She swore to me that she would take the secret to her grave. Yeah, well, she dedicated a whole entry to it. A couple months ago, she and her husband got laid off due to world events. I run my own business that wasn't really affected by it, and I offered her a job there to help her out. She's not qualified in my field, so I essentially made up a position for her so she could have a steady paycheck. She basically does data entry and other random tasks online from her home. Her blog since then has basically been centered around how much she hates it. She called it demeaning work and said a bunch of BS about how I obviously don't respect her intelligence. I say this is BS because number one, she would need years of training to work any of the open positions. And number two, I told her what she would do when I offered it to her, and she gushed about how grateful she was and that I was really helping her out. What a nice way to repay you, huh? I called her and I told her what I had read and how hurt I was. Her defense is that the blog is her online diary where she vents and that I should know not to take any of it personally. She actually had the gall to tell me that she is hurt that I read it. A public blog. Apparently the right thing to do was ignore it. I told her off for telling the internet my secrets and dragging me online where I could be, and was found by people who knew me. She just said that she did her due diligence by changing the names and it wasn't her fault that my friend found it. We argued for a bit, it got increasingly heated, and I fired her. I told her that if she couldn't apologize or see how she was wrong here, then she wasn't who I thought she was, and she could find a job where she felt more respected. It has been a week and I haven't spoken to her at all. Her husband has been contacting me on her behalf, trying to get her job back as they need the money. He claims that she is sorry, but I think if she was, then she could tell me herself. My own husband is telling me I am overreacting and that she's family and I should just forget it. I don't agree. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. After reading a lot of the responses, I have become more and more sickened by the situation. I sent my sister an email detailing how much damage this is doing to me emotionally and could do to me financially and professionally. In the email, I am asking her to delete all entries in her blog that include private details about me, my business, or our family. I am giving her an ultimatum. She can do as I ask and delete the entries, and I will consider it water under the bridge. We can move on with our lives and try to repair our relationship. Or she can choose to ignore me, keep her blog, and can consider me out of her life. We can see each other at family events and keep things civil, but I will no longer share my life with her. She will not be an aunt to my future children or a real sister to me. What is she gonna choose? What is she gonna choose? I feel like I'm at, like, it's a movie and I'm waiting for that scene where she emails back with the choice. Luckily, I could just shut my mouth and start reading. So we have the final update. I talked to my sister early this morning. We had a really productive conversation. Okay. I won't go into too much detail since it was a long and emotional call. The reason she had not reached out during the week we weren't talking was a bit surprising. It turns out her husband knew about the blog but had never read it at her request. After our blow up, he wanted to see what made me so upset. She allowed him to read some of the entries and he ended up siding with me. There was also some information on him and his family that he was upset about, so they were having a separate fight about it. I guess my email to her put it into perspective how much damage her blog and the information she shared there could affect others. She showed me over our video chat that she actually deleted the entire thing. She told me that blogging started out as a place to vent, but when it got more popular, people started emailing her asking for updates on certain characters, meaning her family, and she started seeing hundreds of comments. She basically just became obsessed with it. She apologized for sharing my secrets and for being ungrateful about the job. She claims that she was exaggerating in the blog to get more views and likes, and I can see that. Our relationship is damaged, but not beyond repair. She's not coming back to work for me. Instead, I am just sending a small amount of money to help cover their rent. Ugh, you're a saint. It was not as much as she was making, but I really do love her and I still want to help her. Once one of them gets a job, they will be back on their feet. This way, they have at least a little less stress. Once things start to reopen in our area, she promised to set up a regular therapy appointment where she can vent all she wants and get actual advice, as well as help for what she described as a blogging addiction. I want to know if you guys would be so forgiving of this situation. Do you think, like, okay, she wronged her rights, she apologized, deleted the blog, all is well, water under the bridge, here's some rent money? Is that how you would have handled it? Or are you, I don't know, what's your other option? Keep each other at a distance, not repair the relationship? While you think about it, I'm taking a sip of water and I encourage you to do the same. Cheers, hope you're having a good day. Look how cute my glasses are. I love these little cups. I have a collection going, and I have a very special one coming to the collection soon. Without saying too much, I'm sure y'all can figure that out. I can't wait. Every day without fail, when it's around dinner time, she goes into her bed and she pouts and she gives puppy eyes, just waiting for her dinner to be served. That is the diva I have raised. Next story. Am I the a-hole for flipping off my aunt over Skype? Oh no. While this incident happened 13 years ago, it's been brought up by my aunt now since she's coming to visit our hometown. So she clearly has not let this go. And because it's my mom's sister, my mom is asking me to apologize for it. I, 36 male, was at the time 23. I have lived on my own for about 3.5 years, but I had to move back home after losing my job at the time. When I came back, I took whatever work I could get. This included temp jobs through agencies. I wanted to get back on my feet as fast as possible. I started working at a warehouse job. The pay at the time was slightly above minimum wage. Let me tell ya, it sucked. Work started at 4:30 a.m. and went through 4:30 p.m., 12-hour days. People aren't kidding around when they say warehouse jobs break your back. I was trying to get back out on my own while also paying for college tuition. With the context out of the way, here is the incident itself. The bedroom I was staying in at my parents' house was on the main floor of the house, and the dining room was just outside the bedroom door. The family computer was in the dining room. With work starting so early in the morning, I had to go to bed early and I wanted to get as much sleep as I could. My mom has a habit of drinking a lot of rum and coke. That night, she was chatting with my aunt over Skype via a video call. They were both drinking on the video call and they got around being pretty loud and obnoxious. I came out of my room 2 or 3 times asking them to please keep it down because I had to wake up early for work. It was around 10:30 p.m. and I had to be awake around 3:30 a.m. for work. After the 3rd time of me asking them to please keep it down, my aunt piped up and said, "Well, if you don't like the noise, maybe you should move out." And then she laughed at me. It was this rude, sarcastic cackle type of laugh. I will admit, I got upset. I walked over to the computer, flipped her the middle finger into the webcam, and then I unplugged the computer. Well, you left that part out of the title. I told my mom that I was going to bed and that I had to wake up early. My mom ultimately decided to call it a night with all the drinking she had been doing, and she went upstairs. That's the incident. Now, 13 years later, I am married and I have a 7-year-old daughter. We bought a house in 2022. Now that my aunt is coming to visit my mom, she wants me to apologize all these years later. My mom, being 70, says that she doesn't remember the incident. She has been having memory issues, so I'm not going to debate that. But should I apologize 13 years later? Am I the a-hole? Yeah, sure. You should apologize for flipping her off and unplugging the computer, but 13 years later? I don't know. I don't even think I would care enough for an apology at that point. 13 years later, like, oh, you gave me the middle finger 13 years ago? I'm not losing sleep over that. But hey, let's see what the final update is. I'm curious if he did apologize or if not. Final update. I got a fair amount of feedback, with the middle ground being for both me and my aunt to apologize and move on and let it be water under the bridge. I mean, that's probably the easiest thing to do. That was the route I was planning to take. I wasn't expecting to post an update, but here I am. A few days after my post, my wife and I went to my mom's house to pick up our daughter. Thursday is Grandma Day for school pickup. My mom is a very involved grandma, and I appreciate that. My aunt was at my mom's house visiting. We walked in, and before I could even greet my daughter, my aunt came up to me and said, "Do you have anything to say to me?" I'll type the conversation here. Oh boy. Me. I'm more than happy to apologize. However, both of us did wrong that night 13 years ago, and I think it would be best if we went that route. My aunt. I did nothing wrong. You were freeloading and being a bum. I simply told you to move out if you didn't like the noise. Me. I was working and going to school. That's hardly freeloading. I had to be up for work at 3:30 a.m. My aunt. Well, that doesn't matter. You don't get to give me the finger over the internet. Me. I asked both you and my mom nicely 3 times to please be quiet as I needed to sleep. You both had iPhones at the time, with Skype also on those. Wasn't it possible to talk somewhere else that wasn't outside my bedroom door? My aunt. I don't have to listen to this. Now I have a present for your daughter. If you don't say sorry to me, she doesn't get it. I can't believe that this is even going on right now. I would not have the energy to deal with this 13 years later. At that point, I had enough. I told my wife and my daughter that we were leaving. My mom apologized for her sister's behavior. My aunt got snippy with my mom for not siding with her. I told my aunt that she can insult me all she wants, but she will not disrespect my daughter like that by holding a gift over her head for something like this. So I didn't apologize. I was more than happy to take the middle ground and let it be water under the bridge, because honestly, this was so long ago, and honestly, it's very petty. I wasn't going to let it take up more energy than it needed to. If we could have had a civil conversation, the outcome would have been very different. It just didn't go that way. We left my mom's house without any incidents, and I don't plan on talking to my aunt anymore. It's as simple as that. I want to know if you guys would have apologized, take the second incident after it. Would you have just been like, sure, let me apologize to my aunt for flipping her off? And would you have apologized apologized if she said this, the second incident. I want to know what your feelings are on this. I feel like I would have no problem being, okay, I'll apologize for flipping you off, but honestly, yeah, what you said was rude, so don't you think you owe me an apology as well? I agree. I feel like that could have been just such an easy conversation, but sure. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the comments. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.